everybody coming out. I know it takes a little bit out of your Friday evening, but this was inevitable if we were going to do this. So before we leave today, there's going to be 3 questions I'm going to ask you. Okay? What are we going to fly on this thing? When are we going to do it? And do we need to meet again prior to the flight? Okay? Now, is everybody familiar with this package? Have I explained it to you? I know email. He's new to the. He's our UTSA student here. Okay, so just to tell you a little bit of the lineage. This is the package we flew back in May, and so we're going to fly it again, but for the SALSA group. And just to let you know, this little component here is our flight computer. It does GPS positioning, does pressure, temperature, and it's also connected to this little Pingadero here, which sends an APRS signal down to the ground, and so we can get real-time tracking. Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Frenchie. So we can do live telemetry tracking downlink to the ground live. You know, so how many of you tracked the flight? I know Wizzo did. Yeah.
Sometime.
Okay. We got a redundant tracker because this is line of sight. Okay. Once it gets below, I don't know, about 1,000 feet or so, it's not as accurate, or we going to get a signal out at all. So this will tell us where we have a backup and where to find it, especially once it lands on the ground. Last but not least, we have a mount for a GoPro camera. I have the GoPro. It's got a special long duration battery pack. It'll record up to 6 hours, so at least. So we have plenty of video. So outside of that, this is what we bring. What do you want to put on here? Okay. You probably know the rules that I had, the goals, not rules, but goals. I wanted to break 100,000 feet. I wanted to get a picture of the curvature of the Earth, and last but not least, recover this thing, get it back. Okay, so I would say getting it back would be a nice start. Okay, what do you want to do from here?
Well, I understand the frequency is in the 2 meter amateur band, it's about 150 megahertz. Now, if we know the guy who's the closest digipeater, maybe he can tell us the power he sees. If he can do that, then we'd be able to demonstrate that Maxwell was right. With the power received, the inversely proportional to the square of the
How in the
distance.
hell are you going to do that?
I'm sorry?
How in the hell are you going to do that?
Talk to the ham who has the receiver.
So that's the problem, and we'll get into that. Where are we launching? We don't know where we're launching.
You don't know where you're launching?
I'm leaving that up to you guys. Plus, we don't know what the weather's going to be like. That will be next to my online presence. Okay. How do you do that? I don't know how to do that.
What are we trying to do?
Find who is the closest, the closest ham will be tuned to the frequency.
Keep talking, keep talking.
So do you want to measure the signal strength like in Jansky's?
You got it.
And then wait till it's 50 miles further away and measure it again?
You got it. Try to measure the, the law that is inverse of d square.
What he's talking about, guys, is you're going to track, if you have a smartphone, you're going to be able to track the flight via this website, aprs.fi. Okay? Of course, it has it for Finland, because that's where this website originates, but we're going to slide on over to the good old
How about we
US.
launch it from Finland?
How much gas do we need to get to Finland?
Actually, how about we try to get to land in Finland?
Yeah, that'll be for your balloon. Basically, what this is, it's a system. It's kind of like the internet for ham radios, and you've got a lot of guys around the area, and you can see these WX weather stations. They have their ham radios on all the time, and they're receiving data, and this data gets received, which will be transmitted from our transmitter here, and it gets sent to like a central processing to this website where we get the real-time telemetry, and that's how it works, okay? It's like here you can see a guy's he's driving around town right now. A lot of delivery drivers use this for tracking their employees. So that's how it works. Give you an idea, and it's a very low power deal, but it's all line of sight, you know. So when I say we don't know who's gonna be receiving us, we don't know if we're launching, let's say, out in Bernie. We don't know if we're launching out near the Roost, or we don't know if we're launching down here on the south side where we did last time, our first flight in May. So if you figure that out, Dan, knock yourself out.
Well, I
That'd be
don't know, if
great.
I still in my ham equipment, I would CQ the exit, no, not the exit, CQ, and I would try to talk to anybody around who can be interested, but probability very low. Another thing I thought, believe it or not, there is more. How about tropospheric ducting?
Tropospheric ducting?
Tropospheric ducting, we can talk to the goddamn, what is it, the Swedish that you were showing us? Well, that would only work for the low altitude, so takeoff or for landing, but it would be a lot of fun, you know, to try to see if we can raise those guys, or they can raise us.
You can do it. Now, Renee, you had some ideas.
Any ham here, active ham, because I used to be KA3 IIL, but it was 35 years ago. You were not born.
Hey,
You know I am?
Stevie Ray.
Nope. No, I'm waving at Steve, who just came in the front door.
Well, you're a ham.
Yeah.
Somebody's
we're
got
using-
to have a
you're
license
You're
for
using
this
my
thing.
ham login.
Yeah, okay.
Renee, you had some ideas the other day we talked about.
Yeah, you said you had a pressure sensor on your dealie.
It does, yeah, it will measure altitude.
altitude, but I was thinking of something more practical that you can actually see it as it happens, as it gets higher and higher. And I didn't know exactly what to do, but he said, well, maybe a marshmallow. As we get higher and higher, and the atmosphere gets thinner and thinner, the pressure gets thinner, the marshmallow would expand.
We'd have the GoPro aimed at the marshmallow.
Or you can even have it way out in the corner of the screen so you're not blocking the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah,
view.
to me, video's precious.
And I know from rocket experiments, those are more fun if you've got the marshmallow in some kind of vessel that air can leave but can't get back in.
Okay.
So it's still at low pressure when you recover it.
Okay.
Some kind of one-way valve thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other ideas?
So, you're measuring altitude, can you measure temperature or
Yeah.
pressure?
Temperature, pressure.
Pressure.
Now, we have a backup, not a backup, but probably a second or a third tier project that if we don't get enough stuff, I will put on it. But this is your mission.
So I was thinking maybe measuring speed of sound at different altitudes, but.
How do you do it?
But-
Now, if you propose something, I'm not gonna build it.
I gotta do a little more research on it, but so obviously you need to transmit and receive
Yeah.
a signal, right? And
Sure.
your timestamp and stuff, right? So-
Yeah. We can kinda get it. Steve, you had
Yeah, I'd like to fly a little Arduino computer.
Okay.
And see if it'll survive the temperature. So, and if it does, then we can put some other instrumentation with it, do some further experiments, but I wanna see if it'll fly the mission.
But throw it in your freezer first and see if it works.
We did a Raspberry Pi.
You put it inside of a styrofoam box though.
Yeah, it's true, but it would work.
Well, my first little rocket launch, I had a little lamp on board to see the ant would take the G's.
A little ant.
Yeah, so maybe it would be frozen to death when it comes back, or it could report.
I bet.
So.
Lisa's kids wanted to put some live creatures on it, but that was kinda shot down.
The ant is big enough.
I might fly one of my Lego minifigs. Do that. Hey,
You wanted to get a picture of the curvature of the Earth, right?
I already did.
What?
I already did.
Oh, you did. Doesn't the GoPro have a fisheye lens?
Does what?
Doesn't the GoPro have a fisheye lens?
It's pretty much a fisheye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then how do you know what you're getting is the curvature of the Earth, not just the fisheye?
Because the angle, the dangle.
So if the horizon passes right through the middle of the picture, then
Hmm?
you mean if the horizon
Yep.
passes? Yeah.
Right down the middle.
Yeah. Get that makes sense.
One of the things that we saw before was some folks that have done this have put small mirrors
Right.
in the line of sight of the camera so you can see the balloon or you can see
Right.
down or.
So yeah, you want to put another camera aimed up. Now, you see this little tray here, I won't call it a tray, but this little box, beam. I will put one here and one here. we did encounter that, well, first I'll tell you, before we even get there, how do we fill this thing up? And I thought I would bring in the hose, and it's real simple. I was really worried about how it would all work, and it was very simple. So basically, we hook it up to the helium. Here's our balloon, 600 grams. That number will play a part a little later. Pull it around, run some electrical tape, and you air it up. Okay, so how much do you put in it? Well, that's what this spring scale's for. Okay, we're gonna measure the lifting force. Okay, once we measure the lifting force, and we're gonna probably plan that out the day before the launch. And I guess we'll go to the website. The first flight went about, I think it was about 700 grams. So what's really nice is the company we bought this from, you know, you punch it in, you know, how much your payload weight is, and then how much positive lift you want to have. So let's go 700, and then you calculate, and it gives you how much helium, its burst altitude, its ascent rate, and its ascent time. So I did find that these numbers were pretty close. Okay. The thing about it here is 5.4 meters per second is pretty darn fast.
Oh, yeah.
So what happens if it goes too fast?
Oscillates.
All this happens. So all the research I did, it led me to aim for about 4.1, 4.2. Okay. Oh, and you've got to put in your balloon size. That's the reason why. So there we go. That's better. 4.8. So it's really good to figure out, you know, how much our lift is going to be, our positive lift, because that also tells you your time. How, you know, you don't want to go in too fast, you don't want to go in too slow. You can end up out in Louisiana like these guys did, you know.
It was worth it.
It was worth it. Yeah. Not for me.
We got all kinds of data.
Yeah, sure. So that's how you determine how much helium goes into it. There's no, you know, you have a PSI gauge or anything. We actually measure the lift of the balloon prior to hooking up the payload.
So what percentage of your max payload are you talking about here?
I don't know. I mean, it's just, you play with it here, you play with it there. I would say let's not go over 1,000 grams. Nowhere does it say what's the max.
What would happen if we had
It's just
1,000
all part
grams?
of the calculation.
What's that?
What would happen if we had 1,000 grams?
Well, that's a good question.
What do you
I'm
want
gonna
there?
post this link up, and I want you guys to play with it. I know what it will do, but this is all a learning experiment for you guys.
Are
Okay?
you measuring precipitation?
What's that?
Are you measuring the what's the word?
Precipitation?
Precipitation, are you measuring that when you launch it? When you,
If it's precipitating, we're not gonna be launching.
Humidity though.
You talking about humidity?
yeah.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna be measuring humidity. Because the reason why is at altitude, very, very dry. So you see these numbers we get here, like a 4.5. Now, you're gonna hold on to that, and this is something I really think is cool. I'll post all these links up on the discussion group and all that. Here's a simulator out of Cambridge, University of Cambridge in England, and it was pretty darn close, but you've got to get over to the U.S. If you look over here in this box, you fill it out, but we're gonna set it up for San Antonio right now, as a matter of fact. And so let's set the map. We're gonna launch from the southeast side. And what was our ascent rate?
4.7.
4.8. Okay, 7. We're gonna keep you plug in all the numbers that we got from our previous page, and you run the prediction, and it takes the existing winds aloft and weather, and it will tell you once you set it where you launch and everything. It's going to tell you where it's going to go, where it's going to burst or predicted to burst, and where it's going to land.
Oh, so I'll just stay home.
Yeah, it's right here.
Put it in your backyard.
Yeah, make it land in my backyard, I'll let you know when it comes.
Okay. So this is a very good indicator, as to which direction. Where, you know, this clearly would not be a good flight because it goes over San Antonio. I don't want that to happen, much
Whoa,
less,
in the middle of a highway, oh yeah.
middle of the highway or something, yeah. I'm also not too thrilled about this area.
Yeah, look at the mountains.
Look at those hills.
Hills.
Yeah.
On recovery.
You know, I'm not too thrilled about that.
Yeah,
So-
you lazy bum.
So these are the things we need to consider is where do we launch? I'm a fan of parks. We actually launched from the park where we did the Brook City base.
Of course. We're not going to be launching it today, are we? What's the weather going to be like
Oh,
in
yeah,
a week?
yeah, right afterwards. No, that's part of the goal. We're
Off the
gonna-
roof.
We're
after
gonna
this
pick
meeting.
a launch date. We won't know where we're gonna launch till, you know, maybe even the day before. You know, we have to be mobile.
Are you gonna handle air traffic control?
Yeah. He
That-
is a
that's
former
easy.
pilot and he knows what to do in our times.
That's easy, oh yeah, they love me when they see my name coming down the pipe. This is something really fun to play with, you know, and it's really weird, cause I rarely see it going up to the northwest. I go in and play with this all the time. And then the next thing is, whoever's gonna be on the recovery is they can run scenarios is, okay, we see where it's theoretically gonna land, how are we gonna get to it? Okay?
Zoom in, what's that thing?
What's that?
What is that thing? Zoom in.
What is that thing? It's,
Where did it land?
I'm gonna say,
that's somebody's
looks
house.
like a house,
Oh no.
okay?
Right in
It can be
someone's backyard.
dangerous. This is Texas. People shoot at you here.
Welcome to Texas.
Yeah.
Dan?
It was nothing.
Well, carry guns so we shoot back.
So, let's see, where am I gonna?
Let's land it in Camp Bullis and see how that goes.
That's one thing, no, we are not gonna.
Are there any identifying marks on that thing, any whatsoever?
Yeah, it has all my information.
This sound license return.
So, let's get back to the, you know, what are we gonna fly?
Listen, I just thought of something. Since we have all telescopes, okay, why cannot we put a light beacon on this thing that we could see it?
A beacon?
A beacon, you know, click,
Light?
click, flashlight. Okay, white light.
That's good point. If you want to, do it.
And on top of that,
But
on
I say
top of
we
that,
do it during the day.
if we have white light, we could use my favorite law of physics, Beer's law. And Beer's law relate the concentration of a substance to the attenuation of a light.
Build the damn
Ain't that
thing, I
cool?
could care less what you put on. Yeah, but you got a big white balloon. One thing I will add is that, learning from experience, I have built a pinger that will go on here, so it'll make it audioly, whatever, easier to hear it wherever it goes down.
Oh, you mean when it's on the ground, hear the beep.
Yeah.
Cool.
I figure go off all the
Bing,
time. How
bing,
long?
and it'll we'll start it off at launch.
This is so cool.
Yeah, this is actually a Google Earth. I took all the plots and put it all in here. I did bring the file, but here's a screen capture of it. You can actually move around. Now this bird went to the east. It actually went into town, curved, and went out Highway 87 out beyond Nixon, Texas. We actually got a ground speed of about 100 miles an hour for about 30 seconds.
I was got to 150 for
What
about an
did
hour.
y'all get? I mean,
About 150 for like
you
an
guys
hour.
must have been much faster.
Our model said it was supposed to land at College Station too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty much a straight shot up until you got to a certain altitude, and then you hit a wind shear, and just things went crazy. So we actually
Jet
did
stream.
some circling and all that. The one thing that we did learn from it is there was a 2-minute window where this thing went inverted, and we lost the signal.
Inverted.
Yes.
Wow.
And I don't know why. That was on its way down. And I'm thinking because of that one cross beam, caused it. This is my only guess. So, you know, it's always a learning process. And that's the reason why I'm gonna add those 2 others.
Brian, did you
How's it
find,
come down?
Did you find in yours,
Gravity.
did it
Parachute.
spin much?
On the parachute.
Did it what?
Did it spin much, or did it stay pointed in one direction?
Takeoff, well, I'll tell you what. Let's roll that beautiful beam footage. here's actual,
You don't have down part though.
the what?
You don't have down.
I love that. This is so cool. The kids are counting down and then you see them. But this is perfect. This is perfect.
And you're gonna see that,
They're doing the hoop.
well, I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but we're gonna, you know, we do have some oscillations and stuff, and it does spin, and then it straightens out for the.
Looks a little
Was
cloudy.
it straight for the most of the flight?
Mhm, yeah. And there are some weird sounds that take place.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell happened. It
Fly
sounded
by
like,
from the aliens?
it sounded like the balloon was out gassing, but it wasn't, you know? So, you know, it does have a fairly rapid ascent.
Good point.
I
But
think
whatever
these
you
are
guys put on it, I don't care. I mean, within reason, I'm not gonna put a 5 pound lead weight just to measure gravity. Yeah, but,
An atomic clock to measure frame dragging.
Ah, that's it.
Who was
her
talking
kids
earlier
did
about?
that. They mounted 2 stopwatches. Well, they mounted one
Mhm.
to do a relativity
To compare.
experiment, you know. But we let them do whatever, whether
Yeah.
as far-fetched as they were, they did it, yeah.
Who was talking earlier about mirrors with the cameras?
Rick?
Yeah,
Here goes the cloud.
is the, well, I mean, the obvious thing is, can you catch anything apart from the earth? I mean, as far as pointing other directions, cause I know people like to take novelty photos of payloads.
Mhm.
Like you said, take one of your Lego guys up or.
Well, the GoPro is a wide angle, so we're not just gonna get Renee's marshmallow, we're gonna get a whole lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
that took just 2 minutes to get all the way into the clouds.
Yeah.
Impressive.
It was a pretty cloudy day,
Yeah.
but we had to launch this day for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
So, but you know, as we break through, you'll see, we break through one layer, and there's a whole other layer to break through.
At least it wasn't raining.
No, it wasn't.
later.
But is there anything astronomical you can get, assuming that, I guess the problem is you can't really control the camera platform. It's kind of, if you happen to catch something.
If you do the Arduino, I mean, you can hook up all kinds of payloads at the head with it.
Yeah.
There's, like Hagan was talking about, wanting to do a Geiger counter and see at what levels of the atmosphere you would get different.
Okay, I'll let the cat out of the bag, what I have. We've got a, lab views, lab something, where we can hook all these multiple without, see, I like off-the-shelf stuff. I don't have the time to be learning programming and all this, and, I've ordered this week UV sensors, CO2 sensors,
Cool.
radiation sensors.
All right.
What else did I order?
Now you're
Are
talking.
you able to email?
Now
I
you're
got it.
talking.
We ordered a bunch of stuff, and all you do is hit record and set the time value, and it will record all this data. But,
And is there enough payload to fly all those at once, or do you have to do?
Okay, you got it. Sorry.
you know, UV, CO2,
UVB, CO2, light sensor, radiation monitor, and O2.
O2. So, that's my second or third level project, you know. But I wanted you guys to come up with stuff. So, what else is there? Austin, you got any ideas? Come on.
Maybe, I have no idea. Like,
Now, don't get complicated. One project that we had is the kids took a packet of tomato seeds, half flew and were exposed to UV, the other half are gonna be grown, and they're gonna grow them separately to see if it affected it. You know, it doesn't have to really be done at altitude.
How about we bring a bag of potato chips and see how long it takes to explode?
That was actually brought up Wednesday.
Oh, that was.
That was actually
Yeah.
brought up Wednesday. How high do you want this to go? What are your goals? Anybody?
How high can it go?
That's, to me,
Well-
that becomes part of the,
See,
I'm an altitude record type of guy, just see how far you can get.
we
how high
hit
you can get to go.
104, we hit, you know, 104 playing with the numbers. I'd like to break it.
We are halfway to space.
How about we get to the
Well-
mesosphere?
Yeah, that's a little bit out of our reach. The question is, how high does it go in terms of what sphere? We are gonna stay solid we're gonna be in the upper reaches of the stratosphere.
Yeah.
So you know.
Well, they do have bigger balloons.
Yes, they do, but they're more expensive and, yeah, maybe down the road we'll go bigger.
Well,
But as you find, if you plug into the simulator, bigger does not necessarily mean higher.
Yeah.
But, you know, to answer your question is how does it come down? Okay, we have this, we're gonna have 20 feet of line, runs up to a parachute, and then on top of the parachute, another 20 feet to the balloon. So it's not like this is gonna be right close up underneath. We've got a long, 40 feet of the balloon to the payload. Okay? And, it's kind of a compromise, that whole pendulum effect versus, the video, I forgot the video was still going.
You hang stuff from the underneath, off of the line or not?
Yeah. We can, I mean, hell, this thing is hanging down. I mean, I don't see why not.
I was thinking gyro, but putting the camera on something suspended might smooth out, putting a camera on something suspended might smooth out the picture.
Well, I mean,
Not that that's a bad picture.
yeah, I mean, we're gonna have movement, whatever.
How about we hang it so far that it touches the ground?
It'll carry more that way.
As long as there's a physics problem.
Or your space elevator?
It's a space elevator,
We had a nasty physics problem a few weeks back that just made your head hurt.
There's a Curiosity, on the Curiosity channel, there's actually a show about this space elevator.
Kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, Renee, what else did you have? You said the marshmallow?
That was my biggest one, the marshmallow. We were trying to figure out what to use to mount it. And then the other guy, don't remember his name, said the potato chip bag and see about when would it actually pop.
Will it burst? One that I thought of is mounting a test tube. We have these little test tubes. Drill a little hole in the top, fill it with water. With the camera aimed at it, watch it boil.
I was just about to
There's
say
a
that.
certain altitude where it will boil.
But a watch test tube never boils.
Well, ice before it can.
Yeah, or ice is up, But these are the things we should try, I'm just,
Anybody tried to launch a secondary payload from one of these?
I'm sure, yeah, I think people have,
I've never really checked, but it's like a sub-satellite kind of thing.
Mhm.
From a dropping, glider or something, but then you have to track that.
Well,
Yeah, I've
you have a
seen
separate
where
recovery problem, yeah.
they've dropped a glider and flew it back. I've seen that. Yeah, that's a bit ambitious, for this flight. Maybe down the road, sure. It'd be killer.
How high up are we now in the video? Do you know?
Oh, I have.
15,000 feet maybe?
I would say 10,000 if we're lucky. Okay, so what else?
Drop an iPad from it. Watch a video.
Be your iPad. Why isn't that? If it was up to me, I'd put a seat and put your butt in it.
Bunch of balloons and a BB gun.
So, I want to make sure I'm covering everything here. Yeah, air traffic control, we're good, don't worry about that. Recovery, who wants to go get this thing?
I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll chase it.
Okay, it would probably be a good idea, we do it in a truck, and take a long pole or a long ladder.
Ladder and machete.
Yeah. He had to go in the swamp, right?
No, well, it's close enough.
Yeah.
I can put a recovery kit together.
Okay, yeah.
You wanna bring everything.
This damn army guys.
You never know what you're gonna get
I have a
into.
hunting license, I'll bring my shotgun,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
just in case a rattlesnake shows up.
A French guy with a gun?
Oh, yeah, you bet, man. These
I
days,
know what you're surrendering to the snakes now, right?
these days, everybody is paranoid over there. And you know what? They would love to have a Second Amendment over there. They are starting to realize something.
Are there any, Steve, tell me about your Arduino. You just-
I've got 3 of them. The Mega, I'm not gonna fly because I'm using it for something else. And then I've got 2 Nanos, and they're not real heavy.
Okay.
Like I say, there's a little pressure sensor you can buy, but it's only good for about 9,000 feet.
Okay.
I thought about putting one on just to see how high I would go, and then a temperature sensor.
Yeah.
And just monitor data, but mostly I was interested in the survivability of the
Trick is
computer.
the weight of the battery.
Yeah, how long will it last?
Just, I'll put it on a 9 volt, easily lasts.
Okay,
a while.
yeah, we got room for it. That's easy. And,
And I'll probably put it in a little, gonna make a little styrofoam case for it, so that actually the heat
Keeps
of
it
the
warm.
electronics and the discharge of the battery will actually keep it
Right.
warm, so it should survive the flood.
Gotcha. So Renee, are you gonna do your marshmallow?
I'll do the marshmallow.
You gonna do the marshmallow?
I love this idea, it's great. You can put the ant on top of it and see if space reduces the ant's appetite.
Damn it.
Two for the price of one.
Or if he gets distracted looking at the view and
View,
gets
yeah.
to eat, yeah.
Yeah, so we can put some ants on board. What else?
There's a
Seems
beetle
to-
on board.
Seems to me
See
we
if
should,
it blows up.
A what?
A beetle.
You can round up the beetle, we'll load them up.
Glue it on the marshmallow. Glue it.
Glue it onto the marshmallow. Good ideas, good ideas.
we need to know how fast the wind's blowing.
That's what I was,
If I can find an anemometer wide enough.
Wait, think about this for a second. If you're moving with the wind,
You know how fast.
well.
there is no wind, you may use it by ground speed,
Yeah,
it's your wind.
yeah, it's,
Don't
That's-
think it's as
And
direct.
the computer will give you, direction
Right.
that you're moving, so.
I bet you there's, if you get to 100 miles an hour, I bet you there's a 50 or 60 mile an hour differential wind sometimes.
There's all kinds of craziness up there.
Ouais, on a tout Doppler range.
So,
What
Yeah.
was, what was the approximate duration of this first flight?
time-wise,
Yeah.
about 2.5 hours. Yeah. So it was really cool watching this thing come down, you know, data-wise. It was really, Steve was watching, I know Steve was.
Yeah, so
We were trading
just
texts.
tracking it while I was kinda had it on the computer and you
Yeah.
could see where it was going.
Watch it go.
Then it kinda stopped and then it kinda went
Yeah,
back
near
the other
end.
way.
Yeah, it has a mind of its own.
What was the sink height of this thing? 1,000 feet per second?
No, that would make a sonic boom. Probably about, it took about 30 minutes to come down.
From 100
I haven't really done the calculations on that, I mean,
That's about right, cause we were tracking along the way.
so, you know, there's a lot of neat, a lot of good that can come with this. So I just want you to, you know, tell me, what do you wanna fly? You know, we'll have the pinger, we'll have room to mount your stuff. Steve, Renee, you've got room. Those are our first projects. I say we keep it to about 4. So 2 more slots.
Did you say 1,000 feet per minute? How about 3466?
That's a lot better. Actually, the simulator, has it defaulted for 5 a second, 5 meters a second,
So I went, 104,000 divided by 30 minutes, it dropped pretty good.
Okay, so,
Yeah, the parachute's probably not real effective at 100,000 feet.
it's more of a
Drag.
drogue chute than anything. I have contemplated whether we should go with a bigger chute, but let's see what happens this time around. I still would like to know why it went inverted, but it did. Yes, Aiken?
I was looking at the predictor, and apparently there are a couple of days coming up where the jet stream and the low-level winds will be blowing in opposite directions, so it'll land approximately right back where it
Slow
starts.
down, damn it, slow down. Okay, what now?
I was looking at the
It's like a
predictor
boomerang,
website,
it'll come right back from where you launched it from.
Yeah, there we go.
so it would go like this.
Yeah, oh, it's good, yeah, you can do some really crazy stuff. As a matter of fact, do you know why they have the big balloon festival in Albuquerque?
Why?
Because it's called the Albuquerque box. In the morning, you launch, you go out, you go up, you come back, you land.
Interesting.
The same spot where you took off.
Wow.
It's like one of the only places in the world you can do that.
Cool.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah,
Do the winds went this way and then this way.
that's right.
Then it goes over Mexico, you mean?
No, it's in New Mexico. No, don't go to Mexico, no.
It comes like with black powder on
They
it or
go,
something.
they go out like 20, 30 miles and they go come back. It's really impressive.
You do realize if you increase your, payload weight significantly more, then it's gonna fall significantly
Oh, yeah,
faster.
it will.
Okay.
And my thoughts were put some fins to maybe straighten it on its way down. I don't know.
All I know is I got a class full of really annoying 6th graders who still wanna do theirs.
Yeah, we've got it,
We
And
use,
some 8th graders who are just still pissed they missed the flight.
well,
we use fans on ours and it seemed to
Did it
keep the
help?
camera steady
mhm.
because maybe the way the winds were, that it kept it from spinning as much.
Sure.
I don't know if that's worthwhile or
Good
not,
to
because
know.
it's extra weight.
We think it acted like a sail too, making it go further faster.
Yeah, maybe acted like a sail.
Is your
Interesting.
telemetry, audio also, I mean, like, can you hear things that are going on?
It'll just be on the GoPro.
Just on the
Yeah, not live.
And that, okay, you're only getting that after it lands?
After
you're
the
not getting
fact,
it
yeah.
downloaded?
The flight computer, I don't know if I said, has a mini SD card, so we pull the data and everything's in a CSV file, so you can import it into Excel. It's really easy. It's insanely easy.
But you're monitoring that the whole time, is it sending off a audio signal with your tracker thing?
No, it's just it's a web page. You just watch it move.
What would happen if it managed to land in the water?
Good question. That's the reason why we're gonna be real careful where we launch it. I mean, our probability is never gonna be 0,
Yeah.
but, that's just part of the, I know my GoPro won't get wet.
Yeah. Hopefully it won't. What if it misbehaves the same way ours did from the prediction, ends up in the Gulf?
Then we won't launch that day. I'm gonna be watching the winds and whoever wants to do the weather, you know.
I mean, if the prediction says it's not going to go to the Gulf, but then it goes to the Gulf.
There were some days where it was gonna get pretty close to the Gulf and
Yeah.
I wouldn't fly that day.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Of course, our prediction said it was going to go to College Station and end up in Louisiana, so.
Yeah. So,
Actually, on the website, they say that when they lose it, it's typically in water.
that's correct. And so, there are gonna be ponds and stuff like that, sure. There's nothing you can do about it. But I would say the probability, is very low.
They use the same kit.
If we use a little caution. This thing's still playing.
Well, it's 24 minutes.
Yeah, I just forgot about it.
I had to watch it 3 times, trust me, I didn't forget.
So what else, guys? Any other questions? What altitude do you wanna target, Chris? You'll be our target man, our altitude guy.
Higher's better in my book, but
100,000,
yeah,
Just break
104 is where you.
104 is where we
when I'd
park
say
it.
then 104.01 is fine by me.
105.
Yeah.
108.
What's that?
108.
108? I'm 110.
110.
I think realistically, 110 is right at the edge
Yeah,
of the
okay.
capability of this balloon.
Anything beyond that, and we hit the
But-
ceiling.
You know,
It's hard to be more buoyant than a vacuum, so
Playing with the simulator, how do you get more altitude? You lighten your payload, increase your lift?
not necessarily.
Then you literally just type in higher burst altitude.
That's the reason why I highly encourage you go in there and just play with it. Go with what I told you. We were at about 750 grams and about a 500 gram lift. So play with those numbers and start with that. What we'll do is we'll get together I would propose the day before the flight. Once we know we're gonna have good weather, we're gonna have to take everything and weigh it, and then that's when we're gonna really start playing with the numbers and know where we're going.
So I mean, the lighter you are, you know, the probably less stable, I would imagine. You're more susceptible to this, right?
Yeah.
So what we're watching.
Cost of
It's all a
living-
trade-off. It's like real flight, right?
That's right, everything's a compromise.
It's all a trade-off.
You got any wild ass ideas?
No.
I'm surprised.
Lawn chair, a bunch of balloons and BB
Yeah,
gun, right?
Your mind is all short circuiting, I'm sure.
He's got a sort through.
Yeah, you gotta process it. Okay, so, does anybody else have any questions to add or?
Yeah, the balancing here, is it the wind or is it just pendulum movement?
Well, I mean, you're moving, you got wind and it's.
Oh, there's a little everything.
What's nice is you're not focused on any one.
Yeah.
It
Because I
is
was
straighten
thinking
out.
if you
Any one
put some
cloud.
structures there,
What's
okay?
that?
Any
You
one
put a
cloud.
piece of cardboard in there. That may be detrimental if there is wind, because then you have lift and this thing is gonna flip over. But if it's not, if it's just the pendulum movement due to viscosity, then it would reduce the balancing.
Yeah. Guys,
So
there is a lot of reference out there. A lot of people have done this before. See what they're doing.
Our
Okay.
fins were just one on each side, just straight out,
Were they?
and it stayed pointed in one direction almost the whole
Yeah.
flight.
It
Not
spun a
really.
little bit, but not much.
Yeah.
So it spun slowly.
And I think what also maybe that is contributing to this is that GoPro's pretty heavy. And you'll actually see that when you lift it, you'll see it here, that it's really out of balance. You notice how where the GoPro mounts, it's high, but when you put the GoPro on, it levels out.
So is there, Brian, do you make a concerted effort to make sure all three of those
I
sides
tried.
weigh the same or weigh close to the same, obviously?
Yeah, and well, that's
It's hard with just a styrofoam box. I didn't really need to worry about balancing it.
give you an idea. Here's what it'll look like at launch. It was funny. One of the kids was actually terrified the balloon was going to lift him away.
Yeah, and he's the third one down, mind you.
Yeah, and mind you, here's all the stuff that we had on board. Here's the GoPro and everything. So it kind of, they had a, it went as far as we had a NASA mission patch, the Dragon 1. This could be the chili pod one. Here is what the data looks like when you pull it in.
This one's gonna be the Dragon 2.
Well, it's up to you. Anyway, you hit date, time, Latin launch.
6 seconds or
altitude.
4.
Yeah. So yeah, we're taking data about every 5-6 seconds. So you're gonna have a lot of data.
It's a big spreadsheet.
And my question was, that's her. She came down.
That's a lucky spot.
What I'm thinking may have led to the inversion is how much weight was the balloon, the carcass of the balloon after it came down? Did it come around and actually fall faster than the payload itself? I don't know.
Maybe the parachute to balloon cord should be shorter than the parachute to payload.
I just did this based on the recommendations of the company at Eagle. I talked to them in great detail. And they recommended 20 feet on each side. Steve?
Oh, no,
Also kind of depends on the burst. I think in our case, some of the balloon was lost in the burst. And so
Yeah, oh yeah, you are gonna
only a
lose.
little bit left.
Actually, your idea with the fins is like a weather vane, it's really,
Yeah.
the wind will keep it in.
As it comes down, it might keep it in check. That was my thought. So,
It would be cool to see it going down. Put the camera looking down.
From the mirror. Okay, and so in the
Let's
future, we
take
have to
one.
build
Do
it
it.
lighter,
do it.
so when it comes down, we just glide it.
Make the camera side really heavy and it'll
Yeah.
fall straight back at it.
Yeah.
So, anything else that I haven't covered? There'll be a million and one things. I'm sure we'll do the debrief over at Taco Cabana or whatever, and stuff that I've forgotten.
I like the mirror idea. It's a great idea. What if we had half of the field looking up and the mirror half of the field looking down?
That's where the camera goes. Make it work. See the squirrels running in your head.
If it ends up doing Arduino, you can get a pretty lightweight secondary camera too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've never seen an Arduino camera before. Look at it, I've got a memory chip, so I can put a bit of data on.
Yeah. I just don't know enough about the Arduinos.
Oh, there it
It's
is.
got a USB. You can just plug a USB camera in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so when do you want to launch? Crickets.
So, well, I think you pick a target time to start. You gotta go into a weather monitoring mode, right? So
We should
Is
have a
it-
target date.
Yeah, target date, you just start,
I'm gonna propose a Saturday. Not as many people working.
yeah. You can
Not
default to
as,
Sunday if you need to.
yeah.
What Saturday?
The weather is bad.
The weather, yeah, and we can always push it back. So,
No, most of the play days the next 10.
yeah, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it the next couple of weeks, but. Do you feel that is there a need to meet again before the flight?
Well, probably, everybody wants to solidify it. It'd probably be a good idea to get the experiments together and get them onto the platform and work that out.
That may take another meeting to.
Yeah.
to-
So, play with that.
October
Yeah.
22nd or 29th is a Saturday.
Oh, what was that,
We're
Steve?
gonna be out of
October
town,
22nd or 29th?
Yeah, I'm gonna be out of town that,
the 29th.
yeah, of October.
November. Thanksgiving.
Yeah, actually going and getting the thing, that's gonna be interesting.
5th or 12th of November.
Going what?
Going and getting the thing.
You mean recovering it?
Veterans Day weekend, that's a 3-day weekend.
Yeah,
That'll be fun.
Shoot from
That's what
104.
happens when you try to pick a date, that's why there's crickets, cause everybody's busy.
Yeah.
I'm saying that may be a good kind of 3-day weekend for
Yeah.
some people.
Can you
When is
click?
that?
The Veterans Day
On
weekend.
Veterans Day weekend.
When is that? Isn't,
That's
November,
usually.
isn't it?
Into the first week of, November, right? It's normally around 11.
Mhm.
okay. Well, we should target then.
I mean, it just gives you a 3-day window, right?
Maybe this is a bad idea, but what about considering somewhere around Thanksgiving weekend? Because then you actually, I mean, obviously not Thanksgiving Day, but you've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And usually the weather's a little bit more chill,
Chris is always
if you're
at the
actually in
outlet
town.
malls that Friday.
Huh?
So you're always at the outlet malls.
Yo, yeah, yeah.
And hey,
Because I've
Target,
shopped.
Public will be easier, but have extra.
Running over people now on the parking lot.
Target for it to land in Junction, you just keep on going to McAdams, you're
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Come on, it's Thanksgiving, that's what we're supposed to do.
So, that first round, what did you say, November?
Veterans,
The
11th.
5th or the 12th, so the 12th should be around Veterans Day.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, we're also gonna need to cross-check it with Star Party dates.
Yeah.
Well, I've got all those
We have a
Got that
pretty
on
busy,
my-
do you have all
on
those?
the calendar.
If you wanna launch it from Junction, I have a good spot.
I might launch it at a Star Party.
So is there a value of getting, I mean, is there a value of getting out west of, getting out away from?
Depends on what the weather's doing,
Yeah.
you know? We actually had to go, cause we know this bird was gonna go to the southeast or east, get it away from San Antonio.
Seems like letting it go south, if it goes that way, it's easier, you got wide open.
You got a lot of flat,
And then eventually you have Mexico.
we're not gonna go that far.
Oh, I sure did.
Brian,
Yes,
can you click on the image of 104,000 feet?
Yeah, that looks cool. But both layers of clouds.
Oh, yeah,
There's a clear spot way over there.
blackness.
Amazing how dark the sky is.
so, yeah,
Higher
you
than
wanna
ours.
put ants on it, we're gonna put a marshmallow.
There's actually not,
And an Arduino.
more yet there.
Oh. Do you actually have a view from
What's the
104?
computer you
No.
want?
But that from like 20?
I don't think so.
I don't, it's a home built deal from the company. Like I said, I'm a fan of off the shelf stuff, 'cause I don't have time to be tinkering.
I wonder if a logging accelerometer would reveal anything interesting.
I can put an accelerometer with the Arduino if you
Yeah.
want, but.
An accelerometer
You
would reveal
won't
how
have
it's
to,
spinning.
Your lift will give you acceleration.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be interesting.
There's some accelerometer I could put with it. Just for you.
Okay, thanks.
I'll have to spend an extra $2 I wasn't planning on.
I got $1 on me.
Okay.
Split it with you.
So, wherever we decide to launch, it will probably take about 20 minutes. Doesn't take long. Doesn't take long. And then, we get that thing up, and we retire to a nice restaurant and have breakfast.
So the chase beam takes off beforehand and.
No, I would say we let the balloon go a little ways, once we're certain that it's going where it's going, because I would hate to be going and then suddenly, you know what I mean?
That's Chris's guess.
Yeah.
That's right, I get it.
So, any other questions, comments? I know, Emil, you're quiet, what?
Oh, no, I'm just listening to you.
I don't know what else to say. Hope everybody's still on board, we didn't scare anybody. I will post these links for you to, on our discussion forum, so you can kind of see them and play. I encourage, please play with it, so you can kind of learn how all this buoyancy and everything works. It's a great learning. You know, I could just stand up here and just tell you that defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to do, is to get you to play with it and
He got mad at me because my predictions were more accurate than his.
Austin?
Put a burrito on it.
What?
Put a burrito on it.
Put a burrito?
Now, do you want it to be a frozen burrito?
It's gotta be a
and see it
frozen burrito.
defrost, or do you want it?
And see if the UV rays will thaw.
Put a burrito on it and then throw it off and have it burn up in the atmosphere.
There's your secondary payload.
So anyway, that's not all I have. I'm ready to do this.
It's gonna be fun.
It is. And I hope everybody can make it. I know there are some people that are not here tonight that couldn't make it. We're videoing this. The Society of Physics students are gonna fly it, and Lisa's class is gonna fly it. So there's a lot of opportunities to improve on what we've learned from the first flight. But it was just too much fun the first time around, and needed to incorporate you guys to it. But, yeah, a Saturday morning I think would be perfect. How do those dates look?
Oh, my phone died. Sorry. Got on and started digging. I got them all on my calendar and my phone died. So,
Well, Steve, you be the keeper of the dates till we get home.
Okay.
We'll figure that all out. So we have two packages.
So we're looking at Veterans Day probably and Thanksgiving.
so the 8th, it's October 8th, 7th and 8th, that's a busy weekend. That's the Friday, and then the Saturday at Brook City.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's
14th.
October though. That's
Look
not
at that, dates
November.
are Friday.
October 8th.
October 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
That's a Friday, Saturday.
Combo, that's
We
bad.
got a back-to-backer.
Yeah, Brook City base, and that's International Observe the Moon Night, so it's gonna be busy.
Busy.
Okie dokie, well, anybody else before we finish this off? We have a date, we know 2 packages, and obviously we'll meet again before the flight. If you have any other ideas. We've got 2 of 4 experiments. And I'm gonna say it's first come, first serve.
Yeah, probably before the flight, we need to have the payloads and refit it.
We'll meet
check
the
with-
night before or the day before.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe do dinner or something the night before,
Sure.
fit it out.
Low residue meal.
Yeah.
Right down. Have a low residue meal.
Where is the battery? Where is the power source on this thing?
Solar power. Well, this has its own internal batteries.
I actually worked on a project when I was at Southwest Research as a student. They were building a high altitude balloon, and it had a solar panel, and we had a computer, which wasn't as small at the time. But the idea was, as this thing went up and it took on its permanent shape, it was supposed to float on the atmosphere much like a boat on the water.
Yeah.
But they went through all that planning, and all the scientists and everybody did all that wonderful stuff, and then nobody figured out how to meter the gas. So it failed miserably, but anyway, they had this thing and it was in a hangar, it was humongous.
Have you ever seen the picture Southwest Research took? They actually rented out the Alamo Dome for an entire week. They inflated a blimp in there.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, so, yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, this one wasn't that big, it was in a lab out there, it was pretty big, but the Navy was hoping to put, and then we put the payload in a environmental chamber and kept it at altitude temperatures for about 4 days to see if it would survive
Wow.
the temperature and make it through the night.
Yeah.
And battery technology, I mean, lithium ions were just coming on the market, chargers were hardly available. So they did the best they do, but we just couldn't keep the payload to last through the night before the solar cells woke up the next day. It was kind of hard to do.
I think Chris is gonna donate his Samsung 7 to power this.
Well, that was fired up.
I'm just fired up.
So it's a hot air balloon.
Probably won't last.
You put the marshmallow on top.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Steve, you're gonna do the Arduino.
Yep.
You're gonna do all that. Renee, we talked
Marshmallow.
about it, the marshmallow, we talked about that the other day.
Yeah, and the one-way valve, I don't know where we would,
I'm working on that,
okay.
thinking about it. Need a clear
'Cause it-
plastic pill bottle.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe even maybe like an empty soda. You could screw the top back on
I
there.
happen to have 643 little clear. I can't count.
643, you know exactly how
I'm-
many.
It says it inside the box. Little
You
clear
haven't counted
plastic.
them?
No,
They
why?
could have shorted you.
Yeah, well, there's 2 more boxes down in the art room. A clear little plastic, I don't know, almost like cosmetic
Okay.
cases if you want that. I also have something on the order of 2,000 plastic test tubes that are with a flat bottom. They're about that big, but only the test tubes don't have tops. So
Just, we need to think about all this 2, 3, 4 times, because when we let go of this, whether it's at this distance, or it's just as good as 100 miles from us, it's gone. We launch this thing, so we gotta make
It's
sure
like the
it's right.
Mars rover, you can't tighten the screw.
Don't get her back.
Yeah.
Don't come back until it's done. So. Austin? No, what? Surprised. I'm surprised you're not putting a freaking laser on this thing.
You know, I thought about that.
You know, I was gonna say that, but I was gonna say, I think you would say, why? Why put a laser on there?
Why not?
Shine it straight
Why did
down.
Dr. Evil put lasers on his sharks? I'm sorry, his ill-tempered sea bass. Okay, well, that's all I have then, so let's do this. I just wanna make sure everybody was on board, and I wanted to see what you brought to it, 'cause
We could
need-
do a laser interferometry experiment around the triangle, but I'm not sure what would change to
We could
do
simplify
anything.
Yeah, I mean, don't.
Measure some gravitational waves or?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
there
say,
you go.
Can we measure gravity waves way up there?
Put it together. I don't care what you put on it, as long as it meets the weight requirements, and you do it. I'm not gonna do it. So, Chris, Mountain, anything? from
I'm still
Caterpillar?
mourning, Barry on not being a binary.
That's not definitive proof.
I've heard that
If you
before.
plot what they're
That's good
talking
dis-
about,
That's good dinner discussion,
they're,
sorry.
they're describing
That's
two
a
things that are
burrito
going
discussion.
Yeah.
Anyone else? All right, thank you for coming out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just.
Everything I'd read on that said that, they weren't sure